greatest form of control is where you think you're free when you're being fundamentally manipulated and dictated to. One form of dictatorship is being in a prison cell and you can see the bars and touch it. The other one is sitting in a prison cell but you can't see the bar, you think you're free.
Welcome everyone to Decoding the Fringe, a brand new channel dedicated to exposing the uniparty political system in the United States. We dive deep into how politicians sow the seeds of discord to keep us divided, under control, unraveling the hypocrisy that fuels division in our country. So today we are going to do a deep dive on FISA surveillance abuse. If you've ever wondered why your texts, calls, and searches feel like they're being watched, this is why. Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. It lets the government spy on foreigners without warrants, but it vacuums up your data too. And both parties just renewed it. This isn't about catching terrorists. It's about controlling dissent. Stick around for the next 10 minutes and I'll break it down. Remember, politicians are public servants. Time to remind them that we're not their lab rats. First, a quick primer, just so we're all on the same page. FISA, F-I-S-A, stands for the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. It was born in 1978 after Watergate-era scandals exposed the FBI's illegal spying on Americans like Martin Luther King Jr. Fast forward to 2008, post 9/11 panic gifts us Section 702, buried in the FISA Amendment Act. It allows incidental collection of U.S. persons' communications if they're chatting with a foreign target. No warrant needed. Sounds targeted, right? Wrong. The NSA scoops up billions of emails, texts, and calls yearly, stored in a database for the FBI, the CIA, and others to raid like a digital candy store. But here's the hypocrisy. Both parties know it's abused. The Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, the secret rubber stamp, has called out persistent and widespread violations. According to the ODNI's 2024 Annual Statistical Transparency Report, on page 25 in Figure 9, the FBI conducted 2,964,643 U.S. person queries of Section 702 data for the period of December 2020 to November 2021. That's nearly 3 million backdoor searches on Americans without warrants. And get this, in a declassified April 2023 FISC opinion on page 84, the NSD revealed approximately 29,131 Section 702 queries and found violations in about 501 of them, or 1.7%, including improper searches. These weren't accidents. Remember the FBI's Crossfire Hurricane Ops spying on Trump in 2016? Or improper queries on Black Lives Matter protesters? Both parties screamed foul when it hit their side. The Democrats for Trump, the GOP on BLM, but when renewal time rolls around, we get crickets on reforms. Now to the main event, the 2024 renewal circus. Section 702 was set to expire April 19th, 2024. Enter the uniparty. Republicans like Speaker Mike Johnson railed against the deep state abuses during primaries, vowing warrants for U.S. queries. Democrats like Chuck Schumer positioned as privacy guardians, but only on paper. Here's the spoiler. They teamed up. It started in the House, a bipartisan reform bill, H.R. 7888. The Reforming Intelligence and Securing America Act promised tweaks like better oversight. But conservatives, led by Reps Andy Biggs and Matt Gaetz, demanded a full warrant requirement. Progressives echoed it. Cue the revolt. On April 10th, hardliners tanked the first vote, 228 to 186. Johnson, facing a mutiny from his own side, flipped. He twisted arms, killed the Warren Amendment himself in committee, providing the decisive vote, and rammed through a gutted version on April 12th, 273 to 147, with 83 Republicans joining nearly all Democrats. Hop on over to the Senate. Schumer, ever the deal maker, scheduled debate on the 11th hour, April 19th. Amendments for warrants shot down 58 to 42 with 11 Republicans like Rand Paul and 19 Democrats, including Ron Wyden, dissenting. But the uniparty core held 60 to 34 passage at 11:45 p.m. right before expiration. Biden signed it April 20th, extending it 2 years to 2026 with 0 warrant mandates. and even expansions for non-US tech companies to cough up data. This wasn't compromise, it was a cover-up. Johnson got flack from MAGA for selling out. Thomas Massie called it betrayal. Schumer shrugged off progressive fury, saying it was dangerous to let it lapse. Why the tag team? Because FISA's a uniparty sacred cow. It lets everyone in power spy on threats. Your leaks, my rivals. As the EFF put it, Congress shamefully expanded powers amid known abuses. Let's get specific on the abuses fueling this farce. In the declassified April 2023 FISC opinion on page 88, it reveals the FBI previously conducted a non-compliant batch query for over 19,000 donors to a congressional campaign. On page 86, in June 2022, an analyst ran 4 improper queries using the last names of a U.S. senator and a state senator without meeting standards. They also ran non-compliant queries on 133 individuals arrested in connection with BLM protests in May to June of 2020. And for January 6th, the opinion cites repeated non-compliant queries and investigations into the Capitol breach, including a March 2022 example over here on page 90, where an agent accessed data without a required FISC order. Journalist, sensitive queries on media members required deputy director approval but were skipped. That's also noted on page 86. By 2025, the ODNI released a January FISC opinion denying a government proposed surveillance technique due to non-compliance risks, as detailed in their press release. The pattern? Bipartisan silence. Dems buried GOP-led probes into Trump-era spying. Republicans spiked Dem pushes on BLM queries. It's mutual protection. You ignore my dirt, and I'll forget yours. So what's the damage to us, America? This spy state is not making us safer. It's weaponizing division. Our privacy has been shredded. The Fourth Amendment's unreasonable search and seizure clause, it's a joke when the FBI ran nearly 3 million queries in 2021 alone. And what about trust in government? It's plummeted to 22% as of May 2024 in a Pew Research Center's poll under the section Public Trust in Government Near Historic Lows. And control? Oh yeah, it chills speech. Why blow the whistle on corruption if the NSA's got your metadata? It keeps us fighting shadows. Left blames MAGA, right screams Biden, while the uniparty laughs its way to the bank with $80 billion in intel budgets untouched. So while vets wait for healthcare and spy tech gets Ferraris, protests fizzle under watch lists, and guess what? With all the political violence that's been going on recently, expect more. There's been whispers of FISA expansions for AI threats. So the bottom line, all of this is for show. Republican, Democrat, it's all just made up to keep us fighting each other. I guarantee you, if you go out and talk to somebody in real life who has opposing political views, you'll find that you have more in common with them than you thought. Log off of the algorithms for the day. Be kind to each other. Stop following political influencers like Tim Pool and David Pakman. They're all funded from their own side to push the party narrative. Stay safe, guys. I'll see you in the next one.